Hello and welcome to another wilderness tame video. Chainsaws. It's just some chaps a few doors down clearing up the damage from the storms. But in this one, and the reason I've got my glasses on is because we're going to be pruning this hydrangea behind me, which, as you can see, a little bit on the leggy side. Didn't do much last year. So we've got no dead heads to prune off, which would be kind of the main thing you would look for this time of year. But there's quite a lot of dead wood down in the centre here. There's some snapped branches, branches crossing over and rubbing against each other. So similar principles to pruning roses and lots of other summer flowering, late summer flowering plants, shrubs. So the main thing is dead head, take out weak spindly growth, any dead growth, very old growth. If there's anything crossing and rubbing against each other, take out the weakest shoot of the two. And the end result should be that the shrub doesn't look like it's just been pruned, it should look better. And if I can, I'm going to show you some of my ways of doing secret ninja cuts so that you're not faced with a multitude of bright white, recently pruned ends to your shrubs and things. So doing little undercuts, slices, and there's another one joining me, just so the cuts themselves aren't too obvious from people, you know, your customers wandering through their gardens, etc. So we'll try and ignore the chainsaws, and I'll flip the camera around so you can see what I'm on about. So the first task is just reducing the height and length of some of these stems and taking them back 2 to 3 sort of nodes down, so where there's a decent strong looking pair of buds, like there, or even here. You don't want to go too far down, because these type of hydrangeas will flower on new and old wood. This is the classic sort of blue and pink pom-pom style hydrangea flower. So if we look at this one right beneath us here, you've got that main stem. Leaves are starting to look a bit tatty after the winter. Let's go down 1, just 2 nodes. That's a really healthy pair of buds there. We home in on those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune above them and angle the cut away so that from over here, or walking past on the lawn, you're not going to notice that bright white pruned end. Are you with me? So I can get it to focus in on that. There we go. So you don't want to be looking at too many of those sort of scars, if you like. This other one here, top pair of buds, little pair of buds there, not doing much. But there's another healthy pair of buds there. I'll do the same. I'm going to angle that cut back. Show you it from this angle. And just a centimetre or so above the buds. I'll shuffle it down a little bit more. And there we go. And again from the lawn, there's no white stems. So I'm just going to rattle through all of these. I'll not show you them all. Now, you're probably asking, what about the ones right at the front of the shrub, facing the observer, if you like? Well, these lower ones are really easy. You come in from above. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down to that 4th one, and I'm going to cut that angle. I'll even show you it. Cut at that angle. And then again, from back here, it's not too noticeable. Do the same there. Do the same. I'm going to cut that one down and back a bit. And back a bit. So it's just a way of disguising the cuts really, because it's not attractive looking at a load of scar tissue. Now this one I'm going to do a slightly the opposite angle because it's more upright. And again from back here that's not as noticeable. This one, which way? Now that one is more of a trick. Could even take that one further back, but I'm going to go that way, so that from back here, yeah, it's not too noticeable. So things like this that are growing into the middle of the shrub, and that one there growing into the middle, as you can see there's no signs of life on the top of that one. Top of this one, it's the one we looked at before, so that, and possibly even that can be taken out just to open up the crown. And there's two stems rubbing there. I think it would actually make more sense to remove that one. It's the weaker one, but also you see that down there, I'm getting to it. See that little bud growing right out, well, growing right in to the middle of the shrub. So I'm just going to knock that off and scupper his plans of central domination. So still a bit more work to do, and I am going to get the loppers to tackle these thicker stems, so bear with me. So there we are, we've taken out some of the thicker, more central stems. There is still one growing up in there, which should probably come out. Can you spot him? Follow it up. Make it obvious. Not only is he rubbing against that branch there, but it's growing into fairly central. So he's the last one to come out. I'm going to take him out. Just there. Oh, and it's completely dead anyway. There in the middle. Now unfortunately some of these I couldn't get at the right angle to make the cuts invisible, as I mentioned at the beginning. But if we come round to the front, I think, or I hope you'd agree, that that isn't too obvious. There are a few little white sort of cut ends facing us here, but on the whole that hasn't been too hideous at all. So I hope that gives you half a clue of what to do with a large hydrangea. Remember, the lace caps and pom-pom heads both require the same treatment. So there you go, job done. I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.